Hello students, next we are going to discuss about method invocation or method calling. These are one and the Now, what do you mean by calling or assessing a method? Means when we know we have to perform some task or get it performed from some other person, we need to call that person for doing some work. Like same way a person calls to another person for doing some work. In the same manner, one function may call another function to do some work. And here in this example you can see that class here is main, and we have two methods defined in the class main. One is main method and other one is my function method. In this definition of the main method you can see that main is making a call to my function. This labeled line number 1, my function, is making a call to the function my function, and when a call is made, then the called function calls the perform some task according to the definition. Here main is calling my function method, so main is the calling method and my function is the called method. And when my function end of my function methods end of the curly braces, the end of the definition is reached, then the control returns back to the point where the method was called. Like in the diagram you can see that line number 3 is transferring the control back to the place, back to the point from where my function method was called. And then again main method will complete its execution and the program will terminate. In the same manner, the next example is public class first is the name of the class, static float cube. Here static is the access modifier, float is the return type of the method cube, and it has the formal parameter a of the type float. And next, in the definition of the cube method, float n is equal to a into a into a means this method is computing the cube of the number a, and after computing the cube it will revert or assign the cube to the variable n, and this n will be returned back to the place from where this function was called. Which function? Cube function was called. N is of float type, hence the return type of the cube method is of float type. Now how the execution will begin? From the first method, public void first, and in this method float x is equal to 7.5, value of x is 7.5 comma y is equal to 0, and in the next statement y is equal to cube x. Here we haven't used any object because cube is the static method, and we may call a static method with the name of the class as well as without using any name of the class or name of the object. When method is being called, cube, we values over which whose cube is to be computed. Likewise here x is the actual parameter and value of x is 7.5. This 7.5 value will be copied into the variable a, that is the formal parameter a. Mind it, when we make a call to the function we don't use the return type of the data type of the parameter that we have made use in the calling statement, whereas when in the definition we have to assign the value of the data type of the parameter also. Like a is a formal parameter and therefore we need to specify the value of the variable a. When y is equal to cube x, this is a calling statement, it will is called. This statement will transfer the control to the cube method, and then the execution of the cube method will start. Float n is equal to a into a into a. This value of x is copied into the variable a, that is 7.5. Now n is equal to 7.5 into 7.5 into 7.5. Now the result of the computation will be stored in the variable n, and the next statement return space n. The computed value of n will be returned back to the first test method, and the control will be transferred back to the statement y is equal to cube x, and the computed value of the cube, that is the value of n, will be stored in like y is equal to the computed cube of the variable n. So whatever the value was stored in n will be copied in the variable y, and this the returned value must be the data type of the returned value, and the left hand side in which the storing variable should be same. Y should be must be of float type, as well as the returned value must be of the float type. These dotted lines are showing the transfer of the control. And when y is equal to cube x means the computed cube will be stored in y, then the statement will be executed system.out.println the cube of x, means x here is 7.5 is y, and whatever the value is transferred to y will be printed over here, and the program will terminate. This is how a call to a method from some another method is called. And one thing more, that we say that a method can make a call to another method, but a method cannot be defined in another method. Next again is one other example here. Addition is the class. Int sum. Sum is the method name. Int is the return type of sum. Int p comma int q are the formal parameters of the method sum, and this sum is going to return the value p plus q. We know that p and q both are integer, and they will return the result of integer type only. Therefore the sum method's return type is mentioned here, int. Next method is public static void main, and main is a static method and sum is a non-static method, because we haven't used static keyword along with the sum method. Therefore when we call a non-static method from the static context, the object is to be made of the class, and then only we can make the call to the non-static method. Therefore addition add is equal to new addition is making an object add of the type class, and this object can be used to make a call to the sum method. Int a is equal to 10 comma b is equal to 20. Next statement is int c is equal to sum a comma b and semicolon. See here, this statement is of the function calling, therefore we need not to specify the data types of a and b in the calling statement. The value of a, that is 10, will be copied to p when we make a call, and the value of b, that is 20, will be copied to q. And int c is equal to sum a comma b will transfer the control to the method sum. P values is now 10, Q's value is now 20. The data types must be same of the actual parameters and formal parameters in this case. Means A must correspond to the data type of P, and data type of B must be corresponding to the data type of Q. So P is now 10, Q is now 20. Return P plus Q means return the value will be 30, and this returned value will come over at the point where the call was made, and means some brackets a comma b bracket close. Here the value now will be 30, and c will be having the value 30. and the output will be result is 30. Fine. Now we have two calling mechanisms of making a call to the methods. One is the call by value and other one is the call by reference. In call by value, we make a function makes a call to another function with the help of by copying the with the help of the values, whereas in call by reference a method can make a call to another function by taking reference, or we can say by taking the address of the parameters, and these addresses are copied to the formal parameters. So call by value means a copy of actual parameters is passed into formal parameters, and in call by reference means reference or address of actual parameters is passed into the formal parameters. Next is in call by values, changes in the formal parameters will not result in changes in the actual parameters. Means when we change any value of the formal parameters in the case of call by value, they are not going to be copied back to the point, they are not going to be copied into the actual parameter values, whereas changes in the formal parameters will result in changes in the actual parameters. If we make any change in formal parameters, in case of call by reference, the changes will be reflected back to the actual parameters, but this is not the case in in call by value. Third point, separate memory location is allocated for actual and formal parameters. Means whenever we use call by value technique or mechanism for making a call to a method, different memory locations are stored, are kept in the memory for the same variables. Number of memories or number of copies of the same variable are created, while in call by reference, same memory location is allocated for actual and formal parameters, because whenever in case of call by reference, whenever we make a change in the value of the formal parameters, these changes are reflected back to the actual parameters. Means we change the value at a particular address only, therefore the values of the actual and formal parameters are same, hence there is no need to maintain separate copy of the variables, and therefore same memory location can be used. Let us understand the concept of these mechanisms with the help of an example of swapping the two numbers. Here demo function call fn calls is the class name, x and y are the static variables, and this class demo function call has three methods defined. One is demo test, swap call by value, and swap call by reference. Swap call by value will use the mechanism of call by value or pass by value we can say, and swap call by ref will make use of the mechanism of calling by reference or passing by reference, and demo test method will make a call to both of these methods. Now the execution will begin with demo test method system.out.print values. Initial value of x is 10 and y is 20, so it will print the value 10 comma 20. Next is swap call by value x comma y. These x comma y are the actual parameters, and this is the function call statement, and because swap call by value is a static method, therefore we need not to call it with the help of an object. The value of x and y, this function call statement will transfer the control to public static void swap call by value, and value of x, that is 10, will be copied into a, and value of y will be copied into b. Here see, the data types of x and a must be same and y and of b must be same and the order should be same, means x is mapped to a and y is mapped to b. When the control transfers to swap call by value, we define in this method a temporary variable is defined showing the logic for swapping of two numbers. Int temp is equal to a is equal to b. Temp is holding now value 10, a is equal to b. Now a is holding the value of b, that is 20, and b is equal to temp. B is equal to temp means the value was 10. Now system.out.println, the swapped values are x is equal to a की अब value क्या हो गई, that is 20, and the value of b is now 10. After the function definition of swap call by value is over, when the control encounters ending of the curly braces, the control transfers back to the called point where the function was, to the calling point where swap call by value was called. Now the statement will be executed as system.out.println values after swap call by value method are x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 20, means we have made the changes in the called method swap call by value by using the concept of values or call by value mechanism, but the changes are not reflected back to the calling method, and hence the values of x will remain unchanged, that is x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 20 will be printed. When this execution of the statement is over, next statement is demo fn calls object 1 is equal to new demo fn calls. Why we have created the object of the class demo fn calls? Because we have here to explain the concept of call by reference, and in call by reference we pass the objects as the parameters. Therefore we have created the object 1 swap call by reference, and object 1 which we have created is being transferred as an actual parameter to the method swap call by ref. When this statement executes swap call by ref in the bracket object 1, the control transfer to the definition of swap call by reference method, that is, and see here in the formal parameters in the definition of swap call by value, the data type of obj is demo fn calls, means this is also the object because we are passing the object, that is object 1, so there should be the formal parameter also should be an object to store that particular object. So the object 1 that we have used as an actual parameter is copied to obj when the this function calling statement was encountered. Now again in swap call by ref this execution will begin. We have again declared a temporary variable temp of integer type. Here temp is equal to obj dot x. We have to use here the object to refer to the variables of the class. So obj is the object that we have used as the formal parameter. So to assess those variables we have to use obj dot x. Now the value of x temp is equal to obj dot x. Now the value of temp here is 10. Obj dot x is equal to obj dot y. Now the value of variable x is here 20, and in the last statement obj dot y is equal to temp, the value of variable y is equal to 10 here. Now when system.out.println will be executed, the values inside swap call by reference method is x is equal to, the value changed will be printed x is equal to 20 and y is equal to 10. And after the execution of this swap call by reference method, the control will be transferred back to this statement swap call by ref is over, execution is over. Now system.out.println values after swap call by ref method is x is equal to, here the changes will be reflected in call by reference mechanism because we have made changes at the address location of the variable x, and since the copies will remain same, so changes will be reflected back, and here the value of x will be changed and x is equal to 20 will be printed, y is equal to 10. As I have told you earlier also that in the case of call by value mechanism, different copies are created of the variables. The copies of actual and formal parameters are different, so the changes are not reflected back. But in the case of call by reference method, the same copy remains of actual parameters and formal parameters. Therefore, the values, the changes made in the formal parameters are reflected back in the actual parameters and therefore the value changes. I hope you got the concept of call by value and call by reference. Thank you.